All right, today we are jumping right into the vibrant and honestly pretty dramatic world of 19th century Parisian art.
You see, this isn't just a story about paint on a canvas. Oh no, this is about passion, friendship, and a really complex love triangle right at the very heart of the Impressionist movement. So let's get into it. Okay, so our story really kicks off with this magnetic and, yeah, pretty controversial figure, Edouard Manet. So you gotta understand, Edouard was born into high society. I mean, his dad was a high-ranking judge, but his heart, it was all in the rebellious world of art. And that choice created constant friction with his family. He was this super charming, outgoing guy, but his paintings like the now famous Olympia, they caused absolute scandals in the Paris salons. But here's the thing, his art wasn't the only thing causing a scandal. It turns out his personal life was just as complicated and definitely a hot topic of gossip in Parisian society. Take his marriage, for example. He married his former piano tutor, Suzanne. Now, she had a son, Leon, but nobody knew for sure who the father was. It was a huge secret. The rumor mill in Paris was churning, right? Theory 1, Leon was the secret son of Edouard's own father. Yikes. Theory 2, Leon was actually Edouard's son from a decade-long affair. And Edouard, he never said a word, never confirmed anything, which just added to his reputation as this man with a mysterious hidden past. So it's into this whole complicated web that a brilliant young artist named Berthe Morisot steps onto the scene. Now, Berthe was a force to be reckoned with. She was an incredibly talented painter, also from a privileged family, and she was absolutely determined to make a career for herself in what was, let's be honest, a man's world. So when she and Edouard met at the Louvre, she was there copying masterpieces. The connection between them was just immediate and really, really profound. And get this, Edouard painted Berthe 12 separate times. 12. That's more than any other person in his entire life, more than even his own wife. She basically became his muse. He influenced her style for sure, but she also pushed him, She got him to start painting outdoors on plein air. And the intensity of their connection, it's just electric on the canvas. I mean, you can feel the flirtation in the way he paints her eyes. It was this powerful, super complicated bond. And people were definitely talking. This quote right here is from Berthe's own mother. It just shows you the kind of intense social scrutiny they were under. Their friendship was the talk of the town, and a lot of people were worried, about what this close relationship could do to an unmarried woman's reputation back then. So, you think this intense connection was heading straight for some major drama, right? But this is where the story takes a really surprising turn. Enter Edouard's younger brother, Eugene. Because in 1874, when she was 33, Berthe makes this choice that I think shocked a lot of people. She doesn't marry the rebellious, charismatic Edouard. Nope. She marries his supportive, steady younger brother, Eugene. So you can kind of think of it like this. Edouard was the muse, all artistic fire and intrigue. But Eugene became the partner, the one who would really champion her career. And their marriage was, for the time, remarkably modern. I mean, Eugene was a painter himself, but he basically set aside his own ambitions to manage and support Berthe's career. He wasn't just her husband, he was her biggest advocate. He gave her the freedom and the financial stability she needed to become the prolific painter she was destined to be.
And you don't have to take my word for it. In her own words, Berthe describes her marriage to Eugene as the end of a fantasy, a life she said was lived in chimeras or illusions. And she says it was the beginning of a real, positive life. I mean, that is such a powerful statement about the choice she made.
But as famous as the men in her life were, let's be clear, this story ultimately belongs to Berthe Morisot herself. Look, she wasn't just juggling a complicated love life. She was out there breaking down barriers as a female artist in a world that was just deeply patriarchal. The obstacles she faced were incredible. She had limited access to formal art education, and she was literally barred from the cafes and bars that her male colleagues were making famous in their paintings. So what's really key to understand here is that because of all those restrictions, she had to turn her gaze inward. And what came out of that is this body of work that gives us a crucial and totally different view of 19th century life. She focused on the intimate domestic world of women and children, a world that frankly was almost completely overlooked by her male peers. So when we ask that question, muse, wife, or master, the answer is, well, It's complicated. Her life was absolutely intertwined with the Manet brothers, there's no denying that. But her legacy is so much more. She was a muse, yes, she was a wife, but above all else, she was a founding member and a truly formidable master of the Impressionist movement, all in her own right.